Hello folks, this is Solo speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. In this video we're going to be looking at yet another Heartsteel game, but this one that ends up playing a little bit differently. This is a game where I actually end up getting a lot of use out of Kayn. Kayn is one of the units, maybe the unit that I've played the least in the entire set, just because he is a 5-cost unit and he doesn't really fit into a whole lot of boards. You kind of only play him if you're playing very deep into Heartsteel or very deep into Edgelords. But this actually ends up being a game where I get pretty good use out of Kayn. And it also ended up being a pretty close, tense game as well. So this will be a fun one to watch. Alright, as it turns out, we get the Ezreal portal again, or encounter I should say. We don't have portals anymore, we have encounters. I have to look up the odds specifically for these. This is definitely one of the most common ones. You don't have equal odds for all of the encounters. This one seems to be one of the more common ones that you can get. But that means it's going to be a high loot lobby. If you've been watching some of the games I've been putting up on Set 10 here on YouTube, I've been trying to emphasize which games are high loot games, high econ games, which is more as compared to the ones that are more standard games, because they really do play pretty differently. The fact that this is a high loot, high income game means that that's going to influence what we do. Also, anyway, I wasn't going to take this as Cassante headliner, but as soon as the Yone drops, I was like, I mean, I have to pick up the Cassante if I end up with a Yone off of my initial champion drops here. So I can actually put in the Garen and play 4 Sentinel, because this is a Sentinel Cassante, not a Heartsteel Cassante. My plan was, I was like, all right, I'll play 4 Sentinel for the early game, and then I'll put in the Corki, and then that'll give me 8-bit trait, and then I just need to add like a Kaisa or a Misfortune, and I will have Big Shot trait behind that. And I was going to use Corki as like my main early game carry, but then I get this, then I get an Aphelios to drop, and I was like, all right, well, if the game just like demands that I play Heartsteel, I guess I have to. I mean, it dropped an Aphelios and a Yone, so I don't know what the heck else I could have done here. It's not no scout, no pivot. It's definitely not that. I'm looking at the different options. I don't think it's Pandora's item, so I'll just take Epoch. Now at the start of every stage, gain 4 XP and 2 additional rerolls. This, I don't think that this is an especially amazing augment. It was actually insanely overpowered when it first came out. I actually remember when this was first introduced. I believe that we played a game with it on the PBE at one point in time, and I believe it was 8 experience. I think it was 8 experience and 3 rerolls. Now it's down to 4 experience and 2 rerolls. Every time you get the benefits, you get it immediately, and you get it at the start of each additional stage. So yeah, this thing was like insanely overpowered when it was first introduced. And now I'd say it's pretty balanced. Like, it's not too strong, not too weak. It's like somewhere in the middle. But what it is it's an economic augment, because it's going to give you extra XP for free, and it's also going to give you those additional free rerolls. Every time you get the 2 free rerolls, it's essentially like getting 4 gold for free. So, you know, if we get this stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 5, that's what, 8 free rerolls, and then was it 16 additional gold worth of value. So anyway, it's not amazing, but it just gives you a little bit of extra econ, because like right there, I was able to go level 4, and also have 10 gold in the bank. I was level 4 and I had 10 gold in the bank there. So anyway, I hit the 2-star Corki, so now I need to shuffle things around a little bit. I'm still trying to keep the Heartsteel in, which forces me to play the Yone and the Aphelios, who are really awkward for the board I have right now. But I want to play the other 2 stars I've hit, so I want to play the Corki, and of course I'm going to play my headliner. But I still have Heartsteel trait in, so I'm going to still be trying to get the Heartsteel stacks and scale up economically off that. I would prefer to win the rounds as opposed to lose them if I can, but we'll just have to see what happens there. I think my board is reasonably good. Having the Yone this early actually does add a fair amount of damage here. And now what I'd really like is to be able to get this Garen on the board so I could get 8-bit trait in for the Corki. But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty good start here. I'm getting Heartsteel stacks. My board strength seems reasonably strong. I can play 4 Sentinels, and we're just going to scale up and try to get to higher tier units. And look at this. Then I had 2-star Aphelios. So I was like, okay, all right, just sure, whatever. We hit 2-star Aphelios as well. So now we have 2-star Aphelios, 2-star Corki, and we also have our Cassante headliner here. So as much as I like talking about strategy in this game, and of course the game is a game of strategy, there is still the just hit factor. And this is definitely a game where the just hit factor is handing me a lot of what I need, because it's just giving me a 2-star Cassante, giving me a 2-star Aphelios for free and the early Yone, and then also this Corki to play around. It is also a 2-item start, which means that I have a little bit more income than I normally would, because I'm down an item component, but that's not really that much of a problem for a Heartsteel board, because Heartsteel is going to get more item components as the game goes on anyway, so I don't really need to worry about that so much. Unfortunately, though, this round does not seem like it's going great. It definitely looks like I lose this one, and it's an awkward time to lose a round. I would have preferred to lose like 2-1. I hate it when I win the first 2 rounds and then lose a round and then like win the next 2 rounds, because it's really awkward from a win streaking perspective, but you can't always control that for better or for worse. Now there's a spatula here on the carousel. Obviously I'm not getting that. I could actually make a Heartsteel spatula if I had that, but of course I'm not going to be doing that because spatulas always get snapped up super fast here in set 10. There have been some sets where the spatulas and frying pans have had a relatively low priority, but that is not the case in this set. I probably would. I was going to take the Misfortune there, because the Misfortune could have gone in and been played with the Corki, but that ends up getting grabbed. I would have just made the Warmog. So instead, I'll take the Vest, and then I can make a Gargoyle Stoneplate with that, which I'm pretty happy with. By the way, there's another Yone. I'm like, oh my god. Another Yone here? Okay. We'll put the Garen on the board. That'll allow us to make 8-bit trait, so I'm content with that. And there's another Yone in the store, so I'm going to have to pick that up too. So this is costing me a little bit of an extra income here, but like I'm going to pick up the Yones for my board if I can. Like I'm playing this unit, and I only need to find, well, I was going to say I only need to find a set to play 5 Headliner, but or Heartsteel, but I do actually need to find Ezreal, because I do not have a Cassante Heartsteel Headliner. Normally, if you're playing Cassante Headliner, he usually has Heartsteel trait, but no, he has the Sentinel trait this game. So I would need to find an Ezreal to be able to play 5 Heartsteel, or get an emblem or something like that. But yeah, our board seems like it's pretty strong. We're going to get because we lost that 1 round, we do get the 6 gold Heartsteel cash out instead of the 4 gold Heartsteel cash out. So I guess that's a little compensance for losing that round, little compensation. And the fact that I'm holding like this very expensive board, 2-star Corki, 2-star Aphelios, a pair of Yones, I have this Echo sitting on the bench. I'm actually holding a relatively expensive board here. So Heartsteel is helping to offset that, along with the Epoch augment that I took. Otherwise, I'd have like a terrible econ start. Instead, I just have like a normal econ start, even though I'm holding all this extra stuff. And I end up getting 2 units from it. I get 2 gold and 2 units. So I just straight up get 6 gold from that. And I am fine with that. I'd actually rather get the 6 gold here than get like an item component, because here in the early game, I really need to try to push up to the 50 gold income mark as soon as possible. So I would love to get like, and I'll pick up the Kaisa here so I can look to play with the Corki later on. And because it doesn't cost me an income breakpoint. So later on, I'd rather get like item components, but this early in the game, I'd actually rather get a gold drop from Heartsteel than get like I don't know, like a tier or something, which wouldn't really do that much for me. So yeah, my front line's pretty tanky, and I think I'm just in good shape. It's been a good stage 2 overall. The only thing that kind of stinks is the timing of that loss. Losing the 3rd match is annoying, because I won 4 out of 5 rounds, but I wasn't able to go on a big streak because the one loss was like at the worst possible time. The good news is nobody else is on a big streak either, or at least nobody's on a big winning streak. I think some people are on losing streaks, but they can't really stop people from going on losing streaks if they want. Anyway, like I said, I'm level 5, 40 gold, despite having a relatively expensive board and having pretty good board strength, so all that is looking pretty good. And we know it's going to be a high econ game, because I'm going to get all that. I'm going to get additional gold at the start of each stage, and I'll also get my that's just from it being an Ezreal encounter. And then in addition to that, I will get additional XP and additional rerolls from my augment at the start of each stage as well. Again, you do not have to use the Epoch rerolls right away. They are saved until you use them. This rod is not really what I'm looking for. That's less great. But look, I get another Yone. This is insane. I already am going to have Yone 2-star this early in the game, which is just absolutely wild. So it's like, okay, I will take that. I will take Yone 2-star. And just, I mean, I don't have Edgelord trade in to play with him, but it's like, whatever. All right, there we get some more gold, and so that's going to allow us to go level 6 here. And look at this. We can put in the Echo. That's going to make 4 Sentinel. I want to reforge this rod, because I really don't have any use for rods. And I get a bow from it. I was like, okay, I can do, you know what, I'll do Last Whisper. I'm down for Last Whisper. I'm fine with that. This is a comp that's pretty heavy on physical damage. and I'm going to need some way to armor shred with that. So, and I'll pick up this extra Cassante in case I have to sell and replace my headliner later. And we're looking pretty strong here. 4 Sentinel, 3 Heartsteel. Got the 8-bit in for Corki. The only real question I had here was, do I put the Last Whisper on the Yone or do I put it on the Corki? My first thought was it should be on the Yone because Yone's a 3-cost unit and Corki's a 1-cost unit. But then I was like, well, but Yone can also get CC'd in these fights a lot more easily. And I do have 8-bit trade-in for Corki, so it might be better to put it on Corki than on the Yone, just because Yone is also more likely to die early in the fight, whereas the Corki is going to last the entire round. So anyway, this is pretty close, but it looks like the other board is a little bit stronger, unfortunately. And this person's also just running like a big-time econ start. I mean, this is a perfect Heartsteel loss. I kill all but 1 unit and then lose the round, which is just absolutely perfect for Heartsteel. But I think I still would have preferred to win the round just to continue on a win streak. All right, time for our second augment here. I'm not really seeing anything I want that badly here. It's not the sword that gives 10% extra damage. That's a pretty weak option. So I'll just take the components, I guess. I don't really want this, but I don't really like any of the other options that badly. So I take this, and the good news is I actually get really, really good components here. So I can use the sword to make an Infinity Edge. I already have the Last Whisper. I can use the belt to make a Warmogs, and then the sword goes to Corki. That was about as good as I possibly could have gotten there. So I was very lucky in the components that I got there. Again, that whole just hit mindset. This is a game of controlled randomness, but there is still randomness. And that definitely went my way. Because I could have gotten a bunch of tiers and rods that I didn't really have any... Like let's say I got a tier, a rod, and a cloak. I wouldn't really have been able to do much of anything with that. But no, I get double swords, which is perfect because I had no swords and I'm playing a physical damage comp. And I get a belt that lets me make a Warmog. So now I have great frontline items. Warmogs plus Gargoyles is just really good all-around frontline stuff to put on almost any kind of frontliner. And Corki has the Infinity Edge Last Whisper combo, which is really useful as well. And that's going to be great on an Ezreal or like a Caitlyn or a Lucian or a Jhin if I go that route. Like, oh, these are good items on any of them. Well, I guess Last Whisper's not that good on Jhin, but it's really good on Ezreal and like Lucian if I'm going to play one of them. And it's decent on Caitlyn because she hits a decent chunk of the board as well. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with, like I said, I'm pretty happy with how this is going. Now we 2-star the Garen, so okay, I'll pick up the Misfortune because I'm probably going to play her. I don't need to play the Kai'Sa. I'm never going to play Kai'Sa because I'm not playing a KDA board. Misfortune is just better because Jazz is way more useful for my board. And we're looking really good overall. The things I have to be concerned about are it's such a high income lobby. I have to worry about people going for 3-star 4 costs, so that's a little early in the game to be really worried about that. And then I also have to be concerned about people, anyone else who might have Heartsteel and just gets like some insane cash out. Like this person's also trying to scale up on Heartsteel as well. So I have to hope that anyone else who's going the Heartsteel route doesn't just like outscale me in over the course of the game, because I have been getting, like, I have a really good econ set up here. But you never know. There could always be someone who goes on like a 10-round losing streak and just gets some insane Heartsteel cash out and then just loses off of that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how things are going. I don't really see that much I would have liked, other than just getting my win streak interrupted twice at awkward moments. Other than that, things are pretty good. So there's an Ezreal on this carousel that I would 100% take, but will Ezreal be around for the last pick? I very much doubt it. Someone's going to be taking it because they're going to be playing Heartsteel. Sure enough, Ezreal gets snapped up immediately. So now I have to think about what else I want. I could always take the tier and make a Shojin because that's a good item on Ez. I don't really like taking tiers when I'm playing Heartsteel though, because like you don't really have much use for tiers in the team composition. So like I could have taken the tier. I end up taking another sword. I know I'm going to want more items that builds out of swords. Basically, it's like you don't really want to take tiers because if you get tiers, you can use them to make a Shojin or a blue buff on Ezreal. But like other than that, you really don't have any use for tiers. So, and by the way, I got another gold cash out there for the Heartsteel. And that sword should probably be on Aphelios because he's a 2-star unit, but oh well. I get another gold cash out from Heartsteel. So again, no items yet, but more gold to accelerate my economy, which is, again, just looking absolutely phenomenal. I'm level 7 with more than 50 gold in the bank on 3-5, and I still have these extra rerolls that I'm stacking up as well. I am concerned about that other player I just scouted, though, who also has a... it was the player who took the Ezreal off Carousel. They also have a Heartsteel board, and they are doing the big loss streak with Raise the Stakes. And of course, they have an Ezreal because they took it off Carousel. So I kind of wish there hadn't been an Ezreal on that Carousel, because it's going to allow them to spike their board. But like I've preserved so much health here. That's a really good sign long term. All right, again, I'd like to win this round. The problem is I'm not really focusing. We're kind of focusing everything except the Jinx, which is not what you want to do because Jinx is scaling up with that Rage Blade over the course of the fight. So I'm going to lose this round, but again, it's a good Heartsteel loss. I killed most of the board there, so I got some extra Heartsteel stacks, plus then I take the loss, but didn't take that much damage here. And then there's a Blitzcrank here. I was like, all right, I don't know if I'm going to play this. I guess I'll just play this over the Echo, and then there's Set, so we definitely need to pick up Set. And yeah, we're just going to look to push towards level 8. And it's almost like the game will begin for realsies when I get to level 8. Because I'll want to move into like my actual headliner and go from there. In terms of the headliners I'm looking for, I'm kind of would prefer an Ezreal headliner. Anytime you're playing a Heartsteel board like this, Ez is kind of the ideal one. Big Shot Ezreal tends to be the easiest to play because then you just play Ezreal with Misfortune and later on Jhin for 4 Big Shot, which is really strong. The Heartsteel Ezreal is also perfectly fine. I can also play a Caitlyn headliner. I'd prefer to have, if that's the case, I'd prefer to play a 8-bit Kate, because then I can play like Lucian for rapid fire trait. By the way, this team already has Country 7 in. Yeah, that's the 3-star Hecarim. This is Country 7. I am not beating Country 7 this early, and that is not a particularly good Heartsteel loss, but it is what it is there. So yeah, I'd like an Ezreal headliner. Caitlyn headliner is also quite good as well. I might take like a Thresh or like a Zac headliner, maybe, if it was like Bruiser Zac or Guardian Thresh, but like those are less likely ones for me to take. I would also take a Misfortune headliner as well, because she also slots really nicely into this board. I know I've done a bunch of Heartsteel games where I ended up with like a Jazz Misfortune headliner or a Big Shot Misfortune headliner. Both of those work pretty well. So a number of things. I really would prefer a carry headliner to a tank headliner here, just because that tends to work a little bit better. By the way, we get more swords here, so that's not bad overall. And then we get more gold here, and then I'm going to look to go to level 8. And all right, now we're going to put in the, we're going to sell and replace our headliner. We should probably get Set on the board as well. And oh, there's a Kayn. Well, I got to play that. Okay. And I'm rolling here, and I'm really looking for a better headliner. And I was like, all right, well, I got to put the Zac on the board. I should probably put the, I forgot I don't have the, that I actually thought about buying that. You can see I thought about buying the Thresh headliner, but then I was like, no, it's early enough in the game. I've got a lot of health banked. I don't need to rush this. We can take our time here. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make the Deathblade because I have so many of these sword items. I think I can make a Deathblade, which is good on Ezreal. It's good on Lucian and Caitlyn. It's good on Misfortune as well. And yeah, I'm still trying to put my board together. I didn't find the headliner I wanted. I got some good choices, but I have so much health banked, and it's so early in the game. I think there's time to be selective here in terms of what we're going to get. And this looks like it's going to be another close loss, so that's good for Heartsteel purposes. I do wish I'd put the Set on the board, because I would have had 5 Heartsteel in. That would have been rather nice to get the extra stacks there from that loss. This is an easy choice. I'm going to take the Cybernetic Bulk here. Your champions holding an item gain 300 health. You get a lot of items with Heartsteel, so it's better for me to do that. And I was like, well, what comes out? The Blitz, I guess. I'll hold the Blitz for now. There's a Misfortune. Okay. Still not, and there's a Thresh, but still not quite looking. And then, oh, Heartsteel Ezreal. Okay, well, that makes this easy. Something's got to come out. It's actually the Corki that comes out, but I think it takes me a second to realize it's the Corki that comes off this board. And I was like still trying to figure this out. And I was like, I can actually put Yone on the board for 7 Heartsteel here. I was trying to figure out what comes out. It's actually the Corki, but I'm like too slow to realize this. I'm like waiting and waiting, and then I was like, wait, no, it's not the Misfortune. She needs to come out, and there we go. Now I finally managed to figure it out. So we're gonna run 7 Heartsteel here for at least a little while. Now, do I want to run 7 Heartsteel the whole game? No, I don't want to run 7 Heartsteel the whole game, and that's because it's just it's just too hard to win rounds with this unless your board is like scaled up super duper highly. You're just giving up too much board strength by playing so many units that only have Heartsteel value. Remember, Heartsteel does not give you any in-game doesn't give you any in-game combat power. It just gives you the stacks. But like, if I can win rounds with 7 Heartsteel, that's insane. And if I lose rounds with 7 Heartsteel, I'm going to get so many hearts as a result of that. So I want to run this for at least 1 full cash out. Like right here, I can take the cash out. I get 120 stack cash out, and it turns into 2 components. Okay. That's pretty good. I'm pretty content with this. So we can do more frontline if we want. We also have a bow and a glove here. I was like, I want to use these items. I was like, do I just do another gargoyle? You know what? We'll just do another gargoyle stone plate because I can put that on 2 different frontliners at different points in time. And then I've got the extra glove, and I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, I made the last whisper. Okay. So we're going to have lots of armor shred here. Ideally, we'd put 1 on Ezreal and 1 on, like, a Lucian. Yeah, I wanted to use these items. Okay, so we've got the 7 Heartsteel in. I should just explain a little bit more what that does. Every unit you kill with 7 Heartsteel gives you 5.5 hearts. So, again, with 3 Heartsteel, it's 1 heart per kill. By the way, did you see Ezreal throw his ult at absolutely nothing there? Yeah. This fight is sad because Ez threw his ult at, like, nothing. 3 Heartsteel is 1 heart per kill. 5 Heartsteel is 2 hearts per kill. 7 Heartsteel is 5.5 hearts per kill. And then on losses, you get some insane multiplier. Because, like, I didn't kill much of anything in that fight, unfortunately. But then I got, like, 150 stacks when I lost the round. So you get a lot. I'm probably getting 130, 140 stacks for each loss right now. The amount of stacks you get per loss goes up the later the stage is. So if you want, like, the maximum possible Heartsteel cash out, you actually want to win streak through the early game to preserve health. And then lose rounds in the late game where the stacks are worth more. Where you get more Heartsteel stacks per loss. And I kind of did that in this game, even though I wasn't doing it intentionally. I did kind of do that in this game. All right, so we're able to get a Sona off Carousel. I mostly just want that just for the gold. And I have enough health bank. I think I'm just going to go straight to level 9 here and just try to go to level 9. Not waste, not like screw around here, rolling more on level... Not screw around rolling more here on level 8 because I've got the health banked. My board can get a lot stronger if I can get to level 9. But yeah, we're basically walking the Heartsteel tightrope here. We're just trading health in exchange for Heartsteel stacks. And the hope is just that we scale up enough off of the Heartsteel cash payouts that we'll be able to scale past the rest of the lobby and then win it. It's an inherently risky way to play. It's not my favorite way to play, but I've just kind of lucked my way into it in this game because I had the Heartsteel headliner Ezreal, and then in addition to that, I also hit the early Kayn. So like I kind of have to play this. Now, my Ezreal has really, really heavy damage items, but there's a flaw in his build. It takes him too long to get his casts off. He needs some kind of mana generation. He doesn't have any attack speed except for the last whisper, and he doesn't have any mana generation, so it just takes him too long to cast. His ult hits insanely hard when he does get his cast off, but remember, Ezreal can toss his ult at like nothing and just not kill anything, and we've seen that happen in a fight or two, so he needs his itemization switched around a little bit here. He needs something that gives him either more attack speed or more mana. And I'm hoping to make a Shojin for him, or a blue buff if I would get 2 tiers to drop, but more realistically a Shojin. So I will try to take one of these items, probably the Deathblade off of him, and switch that for like a Shojin. But the Deathblade will be good on Caitlyn, Lucian, Misfortune, any of them can hold that just fine. And then I also have this Kayn. I have not really looked into getting items for Kayn yet, because I'm not planning on playing Edgelord trait, but you never know. One thing I could do is I could play Caitlyn with the... what's his name, with the Aphelios, and then play Riven for 8-bit trait, with Kate and Riven giving 8-bit trait, and then I'd have Edgelord trait in for the Yone and for the Kayn. Again, I typically don't play through Kayn or Yone that much when I'm playing these boards for Heartsteel. Anyway, Ezreal, can he snipe the Karthus? And there we go. Karthus gets one-shotted, so he does not get his ult off. The question is, can we ever kill this Olaf, though? That Olaf has a lot of lifesteal. And I don't know if we can ever actually kill the Olaf is the problem, though. Ezreal, can you, like, blink away or something? No, Ezreal ends up dying. So, that's unfortunate. And we actually don't even end up killing the rest of that board there. If there is good news, it's that Olaf will get outscaled in the long run. But, yeah, we lose that round, and we've actually lost the last 3 rounds. All of them with 7 Heartsteel in, so we're going to get some absolutely ridiculous cash out here. We're definitely going to hit the 500 stack cash out. We're already at estimated value 56. I believe the next one is estimated value 71 gold, and we're definitely going to hit that. I don't think we can hit the one after that, which I think is at like 750 stacks, but we'll see. Clearly, and there's the tier, by the way, so that's nice. We can make the Shojin. I should have waited to see if another tier was going to pop out first, though. Because if the double tiers come out, we would make the blue buff. But I think that did not end up happening. So, okay. That's fine. All right, we're going to get more gold from that initial Ezreal encounter. So now we go level 9, and now we're going to finally use some of those rerolls that were saved up. And I do need my board to get stronger here. So we can put in the Kate. And we'll keep rolling. There's another Kate. I don't think it's... Well, by the way, there's an Alawi headliner. I was like, oh, man. Why do I have to get this? I can't move out of the Ezreal. I just can't. I can't drop the Ezreal headliner. That's so sad, though. But we don't need Caitlyn. We'll just play the Lucian instead. All right, so Ez is going to have the IE Last Whisper combo along with Shojin, so he casts faster. And then we can make another item from our bow here. We do have an extra bow. And I also get to pull my item anvil, too. I think I was a little slow in doing that. So anyway, we will get our next Heartsteel cash out after this, and that will also determine a little bit of what we do in terms of going forward. Because if we could get like a Tactician's Crown, that would be pretty nice. Then I'd be able to play like one more additional unit. Do we win this round? It's really close. It's down to Ezreal against Twitch. Who actually wins this fight? Is it Twitch who wins this? And, oh, okay. Actually didn't matter because I didn't quite get enough to get to the next cash out, even though I lost the round. So it would have been better to win that round. Now, though, I am down on 20 health, so I really cannot afford to lose much more in terms of rounds. What do I get here? I'm going to get double Warmogs and double of this support item. So I'm actually going to start moving down. I wanted to drop down to 5 Heartsteel here. I'm actually going to put in the Kiana. I actually sold the... I initially sold the, the Kayn, because I didn't think I was going to play Kayn in this lobby. And then the Alawi shows up, not as a headliner. So we'll just play that over the Zac, even though Zac 2-star is probably better here. I do want to shift these items around. Gargoyles plus Warmogs on my frontliners. Another Warmogs. There's Virtue of the Martyr. I'll put another one on a backliner. Remember, every unit that holds an item gets... Every unit that holds an item gets extra health via my last gold augment. So that's why I'm spreading these around a fair bit here. So anyway, my board got a lot stronger. Getting double Warmogs plus this Virtue of the Martyr definitely makes me stronger here. Unfortunately, Ezreal died, so we really need to kill this Ahri who's healing off her Gunblade. Come on, Lucian, can we get that? Oh, come on, just need like one more hit. Woo! All right. The Ahri was about to cast again and heal up and then probably kill my whole board. So that's good news. Anyway, I dropped down to the 5 Heartsteel while taking out the Kayn, and I'm pretty happy here. My thinking right now was I was going to play this board. I really can't move out of the Ezreal, unfortunately. I would have liked to play Jhin, but I want the MF because I hit Lucian, and I'm playing a lot of traits for Heartsteel value. Oh, and then I decided I would move into the Kayn here. I was going to go to level... I was thinking maybe on level 10 I can play the Kiana, but I ended up getting this, and I probably should have taken... Oh, you know what I did? I ended up doing double bows, so I could do a... I didn't have a heal cut on my team, so I wanted the red buff on Lucian. It's a good Lucian item. He applies the red buff well, and then we'll put the glove on Kayn. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with my items here. The Virtue of the Martyr is something that gives your team constant health regeneration. If the unit dies, the health regeneration is increased for like the next 7 seconds. All right, this is the other player who's scaling up off of Heartsteel. Poop Tax, great name there, by the way. But it looks like we scaled up harder off of Heartsteel because we had the 7 Heartsteel. I think they only had 5 Heartsteel, and we're going to get them out of the lobby. So I'm content to have that happen. I don't want any... I'm the only one who gets to play super greedy with Heartsteel in this lobby. I don't want anybody else being super greedy on Heartsteel. Just me. I'm the only one who gets to walk that tightrope. Now, there's another Heartsteel emblem here on a Kayn, so I was like, do I just take the Heartsteel emblem? What I probably should have done, though, is I probably should have taken the Edgelord emblem, because that would allow me to play Edgelord trait. I could have dropped the... I could have dropped one of these units in favor of... I could have, like, dropped the Aphelios in favor of Yone, and then I could have had Edgelord trait in. But anyway, I take the Heartsteel emblem. What this actually does allow me to do is now I can drop the Aphelios in favor of Caitlyn if I want. I believe I did not actually remember to do that in this game, but I could have actually dropped the Aphelios and played a much better unit in Caitlyn instead. And Ziggs is also a possibility to play on. If I could get to level 10, I could also play Ziggs as well. Again, I'm getting pretty good jazz value here because I have a lot of units. And then there's the Kayn. And I was like, okay, you know what? I hit the 2-star Kayn pretty early. I should start itemizing Kayn in this game, which is, again, a unit that I just typically do not play ever. But I hit him. I'm going to hit the 2-star Kayn super early in this game. So yeah, we can look to play around having this Kayn in. I am awkwardly on the 6 Heartsteel, so yeah. But I could, in theory, go to level 10 and then put in Yone for 7 Heartsteel again. Problem is just, am I going to have time for that to make sense in this game? And the answer is probably not. given how much time is remaining. Anyway, this is one of those punk boards. And yeah, it looks like I got enough gold to be able to lock and buy that. And boom, we knocked out another player. So we've already knocked out 2 players in this game. Okay, a little bit about Kayn, because I so rarely play him. I feel like I never get to talk about this unit. His ability is he has a low mana cost. I think his mana cost is 40. And by the way, I'm rolling to try to hit this last Alawi. I could probably go to level 10 if I can hit Alawi. His mana cost is low, as I said. It's around 40. But when he uses it, he dashes and spins in a circle. If he hits only one target, he immediately casts again. But he frequently, so he like either gets AoE damage by hitting multiple people at a time, or alternately, he'll either like hit a whole bunch of people simultaneously, or he'll reset and keep casting over and over again. You might also ask, well, why in the world are you locking right now? Like, why are you locking the shop? Well, the answer is someone has 8 Aries. I'm very worried someone is going to hit Ari 3-star. It's that person that I narrowly beat in one of the previous rounds. This person, of course, also has a country 7 board. And Ezreal, I needed you to throw your ult at Samira. Can Lucian win this? Oh, very close. Very close, but Lucian does lose this fight, even though he does 12,000 damage. I get Heartsteel stacks, but here's the problem. I'm on 9 HP, so one more loss and the game is over. So that's not what I want. I will take the cash out here. I'll grab the Ahri. I have to do what I can to try to take Ahris out of the pool. And I get this Fishbones. Doubles the holder's attack range. Causes each of their attacks to target a different enemy. Target a random enemy, not necessarily a different one. So I was like, I'm going to put this on Kayn. Is it a good Kayn item? I'm not sure. Remember, Kayn does deal magic damage, not physical damage. I am aware of that, and this is an item that has AD on it, but it gives a lot of attack speed, and it is going to increase his range by 1. So it's like, you know what? It's probably decent on Kayn. Let's just use this. Now, I do have 3 Reforgers. I could just try to reforge it into a different artifact item, but I'm actually okay with this. Let's do Fishbones Kayn and just see what the heck happens. I'm down for that. All right, so there we get more gold again, and I'm like, I really want to hit this last Alawi. We hit the Thresh. Can we hit the Alawi? I am terrified that this person, by the way, there's the Caitlyn's. I could have taken out the Aphelios here, but I'm terrified that this person is going to hit, and there's the Alawi 3, so now we can look to try to go to a level 10 if the game gets that far. And then I'll just take the Hand of Justice for Kayn as well. Why not? It seems like a pretty good item there. So we'll go there, and again, I'm just really worried that this person's going to hit the 3-star, going to hit the 3-star Ahri, and then that's going to be just the end of my game. But I was watching. They didn't hit it on that particular round. So hopefully they won't hit. I've had so many games where like I was going to win the lobby, and then someone just hits that 3-star 4 cost. So I did what I could. I took the Ahri out of the pool, but now it is just up to randomness. Will they be able to find that last one? Because they have 8 out of 9 Ahris, but they need 1 more before they can get it. And that's the person who has the Ahri. Okay, so they're down to 1 life remaining. It's Jasker is the person who has it. So I was like, all right, are they going to hit it? And I'm actually set to hit them on the next round. So I was like, all right, just please do not hit the Ahri this round, please. I think I win this lobby if you don't hit the Ahri. Yeah, they have double Ahris on the board and 2 more on the bench. I'm like, please no Ahri 3-star. Please no Ahri 3-star. As I said, the last game I put up on YouTube, some people might remember, I lost to an Ahri 3-star. So it's like, please, not again, not another RE3, please, not again. And no RE 3-star. All right, they got stuck on 8. They're actually also on 7 Akalis, but so they're close on both, but did not hit. And there's that random RNG aspect to the game again. Anyway, Kayn is spinning around, but he gets taken out in the back lines. I did put the Alawi tentacles in the corner so that they'll be Akali bait. And so I need Lucian and Ezreal to carry this fight. Come on, Lucian. Get off your next ult. He's going to fire at the wrong corner, but it looks like we've got this. There we go. Woo! All right. RE3 out of... No RE3. RE player is out of the lobby. We don't have to worry about that nonsense. Okay. I think another player was holding 2 Ahris as well. Good guy Kozage there, holding 2 more Ahris. So between the 2 of us, we had 3 additional Ahris. There's only 1 more in the pool. So that's collective action at work there. That's like balance of power politics in 18th century Europe, where everybody ganged up against France. Something you probably didn't think you'd hear about in a TFT video. But anyway, yeah, there's 12 copies of all the 4 costs in the pool. And I had an Ari, and that other player had 2 Aris. So between us, we had 3, and the one player who was going for Ari 3-star had 8. So 11 of the 12 Aris were out of the pool. There was only 1 more remaining. So we did what we needed to do. We did collective action. We took the Aris out, and they weren't able to hit Ari 3-star. All right, now this is the country 7 board here. You'll notice I actually stuffed the Alawi tentacles over on the right-hand side, and that was deliberate because Hecarim always comes out on the right-hand side. I thought that I could just stuff them there, and the Hecarim 3 would just get stuck on the Alawi tentacles, and that's actually what happened. The Hecarim never gets free of the Alawi tentacles, so that fight goes perfectly, and I was actually able to win against that board. Now, it was a ghost round, so we know ghost rounds are buggy, but yeah, I'm able to win, and hopefully that'll stay the case again if I hit that board again. By the way, there's another Heartsteel emblem here. So I can actually take a Heartsteel emblem and play 7 Heartsteel, but here's the issue with playing another Heartsteel emblem here. The game is going to be over before I can get another cash out, because it takes 2 more rounds for me to get a cash out. There's only 2 more rounds left in the game, because at most there will be 2 more rounds. One of us will get knocked out on the next round, and then the other player gets knocked out on the following round. So the game will never last long enough for there to be another Heartsteel cash out. So instead, I opt for the Infinity Edge, and that's just because that's going to synergize really well with the Hand of Justice on the Kayn. It's going to give him extra critical strike chance. Again, I am aware that Kayn deals magic damage. The Infinity Edge, of course, is for physical damage dealers, but it does allow his ultimate to crit. And it does give him extra crit chance. So it is a decent item. Obviously, Jewel Gauntlet would be better, but it's not bad. It's not bad in this situation. Okay, we're up against the Punk board. This person's actually Punk 6 because they managed to find a Punk emblem. But I am positioned correctly for this round as well. Lucian is on the left side of the board, so Lucian will cast on the right side of the board with his ult. Watch Kayn. He's going to spin into the back lines here any second. Oh, never mind. I must be thinking of a different fight. I thought he spun in the back line. Nope, he just dies like an idiot. But Lucian's alive and Ezreal's alive, and that's what matters. Ez needs to get off one more big ult. There we go. And it looks like we've got this. I just have too much front line. So it looks like Heartsteel does its job. I'm going to knock this player out. And I believe their ghost took out the country player. One of our ghosts did. And that's going to wrap this up. 7 Heartsteel for the win. So again, it's a classic game of the Heartsteel player got some big cash outs. I got that, what is it, the 500 stack Heartsteel cash out, and I just got too many Heartsteel items for the other players to win. But you can see how nerve-wracking it was. I went down to 9 HP in that game, which was, yeah, I don't love playing that way, but it did work out this game, and I'm glad I was able to translate it into a win. Also got to use Kayn, a rarity for me. Well, once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this game. Until next time, hope everybody's having a great week. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.